Hey Bruges fans, I'm Mathew Ryan and you're watching the 1891 channel. Blijven hangen.
Matthew, there are few players that have passed in Bruges that have made a lasting impact like you did. How do you think returning to Jan Breda will be?
Yeah, very special. It's something that I'm very much looking forward to. Obviously I haven't had the opportunity to return there on the pitch since having left, but yeah, I mean, it's no secret how much the club meant to me and still means to me. And having moved to AZ in January last year, you know, a lot of Bruges fans, they travel to the games now, and I see them after the game and whatnot. And yeah, it's nice to, I guess, have had that impact on the club, and yeah, it just makes the memory even more special. Yeah, a family of people, being the Club Bruges family, you know, it's always a great compliment when you hear your song being sang. And through the sort of tough times and the good times, they always stood by us, you know. And when it's tough times and perhaps you haven't won in a little while and the pressure's there and it's difficult and all that, that's when you really need your fans to try and get behind you and support you. And I felt in Bruges they were very good at doing that, you know. They never got too critical of the playing group in a sense of just trying to put them down and not saying they're good enough and saying that this player is poor and that player is bad and they're a bad player. And the travelling supporters and the songs they came up with and their support through the ups and downs were, hey, you don't get that everywhere you go. And I knew in football the best place to be is Europe, and a club with, you know, the history like Club Bruges had being in Europe, for me to have come in there and started there, I couldn't have asked for a better opportunity. And I went into an apartment with Valentinos Vlachos, who was a Greek player that signed at the same time, and his father was also there. And I just remember arriving to the apartment, I unpacked all my things and all that, and then it just sort of, the reality hit me. And I remember I actually cried at that moment, because my family, I can't drive to see them anymore, you know, they're on the other side of the world. And I remember that was a pretty overwhelming moment. The first couple of weeks, you know, Vladan had, I think, taken the #1 position in January or February, I think, in the season just before. And yeah, and then a few questions and doubts came into my mind a little bit. You know, I'm moving across here, I'm not even going to be playing, is it worth it, and all this. And unfortunately for Vladan, he got a little bit of an injury, I think, in the pre-season in his chest or something. And Juan Carlos Garrido, the manager at the time, he obviously didn't have much of a choice but to play me in that moment when Vladan was injured. And I think the first game of the season, Vladan was fit and ready to go again, but obviously, you know, Juan Carlos, he stuck with me in the first game, and then, yeah, basically played nearly every game after that. And I think my first game of the season was Charleroi, wasn't it? Yeah, Charleroi, and I think Wang scored a goal. We won 2-0, I think it was, from memory.
It's clean sheets.
Clean sheet, yeah. I remember running up and celebrating the goal from Wang, you know, because he also arrived at the same time. When someone asks that question, what is my best game ever, Torino is definitely in that mix of being that. Winning the cup that year was something that was very special, and ultimately that's my purpose in life, you know, trying to contribute to a team to win as many trophies as possible, because if I'm able to contribute to a team to do that, I know that they're going to be memories I'll remember for the rest of my life. But it's just a shame a title hasn't come yet. You never know in the future, but yeah. It's always been the thing that has, yeah, left me most dissatisfied with, you know, the fact that I didn't win a title there, you know. And like I said, as soon as I left, I always spoke with my agent and all my close people. It was like, yeah, one day if you get the opportunity to go back there and win a title and whatnot, or at least have the opportunity to do it, it would be something that I would strongly consider for sure. So I could definitely, if things aligned, I could definitely see myself going back there one day and trying to help the club win a title. And I felt like for my own personal story, it would be a little bit like a fairy tale ending, so to speak. But as we know, it's not easy to do, and fairy tales aren't guaranteed and all that. But like I said, I had a great time there, great people, great city, great fans, great everything. And if the opportunity arose whilst I'm still fit and playing, then it would be something that I would definitely strongly consider.
What did you think when you heard Lior sign for Anderlecht?
Yeah, it's a funny one.